Guys, it's Jacob from StringBuzz here, stringbuzzworld.org being a music journalism site, links are in the description down below. And I'm going to continue the Problems With series, and I thought I'd do it on the Grammy / award shows in general when it comes to music. I'm not going to refer to any original article this time around, it's going to be more just off the top of my head, from the heart, all that sort of great stuff, because I think there's a lot I need to talk about when it comes to music award shows, etc, etc. Now, I'm not just going to rant about results, etc, and all that sort of stuff like many other musicians and music journalists do on the web and when they write it up and stuff, because I think that's not going to really achieve anything, but rather just give me my honest thoughts about what I think when it does come to award shows and things like that, because I think they've really lost their prestige over the last few years, and for good reason as well. I mean, when people sort of comment about Grammys and stuff now, and people mention how many awards particular artists have won, I think they've taken a real back seat, especially over the last 10 years or so, that you've got the weirdest people winning, Grammys or over 10 times Grammy nominated, and yet it doesn't really add anything to their character at all anymore. I mean, gone are the days where you could be like, oh my god, this guy's been Grammy nominated 5 times, and that would seem exceptional because these are, big awards. Now you have people like Drake who are nominated 9 times in 1 year because they're just unable, or rather incapable, of just looking outside the box when it comes to their choices. They can't seem to separate best from most popular or most successful. I mean, things can be successful, songs can be successful, but not good. I mean, just look at like some of the meme type songs / just viral type songs. Would you give something like What Does the Fox Say as a song of the year? No, you wouldn't. It's only when it comes to what has the most views and what people talk about the most becomes the best song, rather than actually looking at critical response or just in general and music, actually getting in people who critique music on a daily basis and give their opinions in that way, not really looking at whether a song is good, but rather a song is just popular or successful, as I've already mentioned. I think a big problem with that, and where it comes with all these nominations, is that there's just too many categories, really. There's too many repeat categories. So somebody could release one song and win 3 different awards in pretty much identical places just for that one song. For example, I mean, Adele won like 5 Grammys or something like that this year, and 3 of them were for the same song. It was for like best song, best pop song, and then best pop performance, something like that. And let's be honest here, they're really not different awards. I mean, best song and best pop song, I can understand, they are 2 different awards. But best pop song performance and all this sort of stuff, that's when you're just getting into repeating yourself and you're just giving out awards for the heck of giving out. When you get into that habit, unfortunately, the prestige does get taken away. I mean, when you're giving out 50 to 55 awards a year, then suddenly those awards don't seem that useful or even like critically looked upon anymore, because anybody can have multiple of them, and many people do have multiple of them. I mean, look at Chance the Rapper. They do it every year. They have one person who is unexpected to win a load of awards, will then win a load of awards. And even though I'm not the biggest fan of Chance the Rapper's music, I'm glad he did win awards. But he won 5 or 3 or 5 on his first Grammy outing, and again in categories which I think are kind of repeated and perhaps undeserved for his music as well. And I just kind of feel like it's too much, really. You're giving too much praise over one particular thing, whereas you're not looking at the wider aspects of things. And like I said, when you oversaturate an award, it doesn't become special anymore. And to those who sort of think, of course it was going to be like a popularity contest, of course it was going to be the most popular, successful songs. We've already got awards for that. We've got the BMI awards, which, about sort of radio play and stuff. I know they're always like a year in advance, so they're a bit slow, but they're still, prestigious awards which do show about success and popularity rather than the actual song being good or bad or anything like that. Whereas the Grammys is meant to be a celebration of what artistry has achieved over the last year. And if you're telling me the best rap song that could be possibly produced was Hotline Bling, and the best song that could possibly be produced was Blimmin' Hello by Adele, and even the best metal song or metal performance, whatever it was Dystopia by Megadeth in this current climate, then you're just going a bit too far. Moving on to that point of Megadeth winning the metal performance, whatever it was, I thought that was incredibly disappointing, because I think they started to do something really good there in the nominations. There was like nominations of Korn, which admittedly was a bit flaky, but you had Periphery in there, you had Gojira in there, you had Baroness in there. These are excellent groups that are finally getting some praise that they deserve, and yet again they go for these sort of golden oldies, people that you'd expect to win the awards. I mean, I know Megadeth have been snubbed thousands of times in the past, but they were by far far one of the weakest entries into all the categories, and I think it was really undeserved, and it actually harms the acts you're trying to give praise to, because now Gojira's, incredibly successful, brilliant. I mean, it was critically loved, enjoyed by the masses, and now that's sort of got a downer on it because it lost out to Megadeth's new track or new album, and I think that's really disappointing. What I'm trying to say here is that this oversaturation of awards, popular choices, successful choices, these big names that keep winning these repeat awards every year without really putting in the same effort as many others to even get to that stage, has caused things to become a little bit gimmicky. And I think when you look at Grammys now, I mean, a great example of this is how Adele broke her Grammy in half to give one half to Beyonce. For some reason, I can't remember the reason and stuff. And people, I guess, like 20 years ago would have been shocked about that, because that's a real kind act and crazy act. Now it's just Grammys are at this laughable point where people don't care if somebody breaks them one there, and don't think it's particularly kind or anything like that, but rather that's just what Grammys are now. They're just glorified sort of paperweight. And I can't put all my hate just into the Grammys, because I think the Brits are just as bad for giving repeat awards to the same individuals, and multiple awards, upwards of 7 to 12 awards or something have been won by one person in one year. And I think it was especially shown up over the last 3 years or so. We had a massive grime invasion over the last 3 years, where it really re-emerged back into sort of popular culture again in this country, with some great tracks, which I'm not personally a fan of that music, but I could totally respect, and respect much more than these award winners that were just being overlooked because they weren't popular globally. And I think that's kind of a shame, really. This whole popularity thing has taken the sheen off of awards and the whole meaning off of awards, which is why when I go to look at awards, awards which are actually important, I look towards independent journalists, and I look towards, sites not like The Enemy and people like that, but even to the likes of The Needle Drop and people like that, just because they're people who are going to give their own personal opinion about it, back up why it deserves that award, and they're not going to pick very stereotypical choices just because they're popular and people know them, but rather they're just literally going to pick what is the best. I mean, you've got to think that your award show is really losing its sheen when fans are angry when a particular artist doesn't win more than 3 awards or something like that. I mean, look at Beyonce this year. Her fans have been going wild that she didn't win, 5 awards, upwards of these amount of awards, and didn't win all of her nominations. And that's crazy to me. You should be unbelievably proud of your artist if they won 1 award. And that's an incredible thing, because that proves them as being the best in the world at one particular thing, or even, at the broadest thing of being best song and stuff like that. But now people aren't content with that. They want all these awards, and I think that's really taken a lot of the sheen off of it, and it really proves that maybe they're just not prestigious anymore in any sort of sense. Now, I know this might sound like a bit of a ranty video, and I didn't want it to be like that, and it might have even got a bit distracted and not perhaps concentrated as much as I wanted it to be, because I didn't want to read off a script or anything like that. I just wanted to basically come off of it off the top of my head, because I'm just kind of done with awards at the moment. And obviously I do my own awards on the site myself. I send certificates out to all the independent groups who win some of my awards, and I just see them and see what they do, and even compare their music to these big award winners, and how both fan bases react and how people react. And I think it really proves that these big award ceremonies that carried so much weight in the past, which awarded achievement and rewarded sort of exploration, innovation, imagination, all these sort of things, have now come to waste to just being another thing to sell a particular album. If a promotion company or a record label can now put 5 times Grammy nominated, 3-time Grammy winner on their album, it suddenly sells more. And I think that's the only reasoning behind Grammys anymore, is 1, for an award show to raise lots of money for sponsorships, etc., and for the record labels, and 2, just to sell more albums by these already popular people, which I just think is totally unfair and totally unjust for the whole idea of an award. So if you like this video, then please leave a like. Please comment what you think in the comment section down below. I really want to know what other people think of these awards, because I think a lot of people just are fed up at this point. I don't think people are even finding it funny or angry about it, that they just don't really care. And I think that's the most important thing to take away from this award season this year for music. So if you like this video, like I said, leave a like, subscribe to see more, and I'll see you around next time. Bye bye.